Okay, the next speaker is Terry Leeds. She's the most recent past chairperson for the executive committee of the Suncoast Sierra Club. She's also a past acting director of the Clearwater Aquarium, interestingly enough. And she was one of the people instrumental in saving the dolphin winter, which has now become famous. She started it all. She could have said, no, he's out of here, but she saved Winter's life. And I don't know, it's him or her.
Get the residuals.
Okay, I was wrong with the gender. So anyway, Terry's going to speak about the environment, and go ahead, Terry.
Hi, thank you all so much for coming, and I am really glad and proud to be here with my brothers and sisters from Labor and the Coalition of Monopoly Workers, because you guys rock. I'm here to focus primarily on the TPP's effects on the environment. The Sierra Club believes that trade done right can foster development and sustainable growth while protecting workers and the environment in the United States and abroad. But unfortunately, the U.S. has done trade wrong, and it looks like it's continuing to do so with the TPP. First of all, despite the Obama administration's promises of increased transparency, as you've heard, these TPP talks are the most secretive negotiations yet. An open letter to the United States Congress signed by 400 groups from a broad range of backgrounds, including the Sierra Club, stated that we find it troubling that U.S. negotiators still refuse to inform the American public what they have been proposing, shielding not only proposals, but agreed upon text from public view until after negotiations have concluded and the pact is finalized is not consistent with democratic principles. Now, when most people think about trade agreements, they think about things like tariffs. Well, the TPP is a lot more than that. In fact, only about 5 or 6 of its 29 chapters actually deal with trade. The entire agreement is actually a delivery mechanism for a whole package of non-trade policies that are going to affect everything: labor, the environment, immigration, internet. The TPP, they claim, is going to be a new model for trade, but actually it looks like it's just going to be an expansion of the NAFTA model. And this is the same flawed model that's already contributed substantially to climate change by enabling businesses to relocate to countries with weak or non-existent environmental labor standards, by increasing the volume and distances of goods shipped globally via fossil fuel burning transportation. The average American meal is now shipped 1,500 miles from field to dinner plate. By decimating our natural resources, particularly through rampant deforestation and illegal logging. Deforestation alone accounts for 1/5 of global warming greenhouse gases. And by using trade rules and business-based closed-door tribunals to roll back policies designed to protect communities and to protect the environment. So let's talk a little bit about these tribunals. You've heard them mentioned before. It does appear that they're going to follow this flawed NAFTA model, whereby corporations are allowed to sue governments directly for money damages over just about any law that the corporation believes is hurting its ability to profit. And these are called investor-state cases. And they're heard, as you mentioned, not in ordinary courts, but in these private, non-transparent tribunals that lack accountability, they lack standard judicial ethics, and they lack appeals processes. Corporations such as ExxonMobil and Dow Chemical have launched more than 450 of these types of cases against 89 governments. Nearly $675 million has been paid to corporations under U.S. trade agreements and treaties. And about 70% of that has gone to oil, gas, and mining industries. Let's look at just a few examples. S.D. Myers, a U.S. waste treatment company, challenged a temporary Canadian ban of PCB exports that did comply with the multilateral environmental treaty on toxic waste. But an investor-state tribunal ruled in the company's favor and awarded it $5 million. A U.S. timber company challenged Canada's implementation of the 1996 U.S.-Canada Softwood Lumber Agreement. The tribunal held, this is great, I love this, they held that the rude behavior of the Canadian government officials seeking to verify the firm's compliance with the lumber agreement constituted a violation of the minimum standard of treatment required by NAFTA for foreign investors. Those rude Canadians, imagine how rude they can be. The panel also stated that a foreign firm's market access in another country could be considered a NAFTA-protected investment. Even when governments win, they're forced to expend tremendous resources defending their national policies against corporate attacks. And the mere threat of having to pay damages to a corporation can have a very chilling effect on policymaking. Remember dolphin-safe tuna? Well, it's not so safe anymore. Mexico demanded a change in U.S. policy of labeling tuna and was threatening to bring a WTO case. On New Year's Eve 2002, when not too many people were paying attention, the Bush administration announced that it would change our flipper-friendly policy on tuna to allow this dolphin-safe label to be used on tuna caught using deadly purse seine nets and dolphin encirclements. I'm not kidding. Unfortunately, no. Probably one of the dirtiest secrets of the TPP is its potential to pave the way to dramatically increasing fracking across the United States.
That's bad.
Not a good thing. In order for U.S. to export natural gas currently, the Department of Energy has to first conduct a thorough analysis to determine whether this export is going to be in the public interest. But the department can lose its ability to regulate exports of natural gas to a country with which the U.S. has a free trade agreement. So the TPP could very well mean automatic approval of liquid natural gas export permits without any kind of review or consideration. And I'm sure there are a lot of countries interested in importing U.S. natural gas, especially Japan, which is the world's leading single liquid natural gas importer. And I probably don't have to spend a lot of time telling you that there's nothing clean about natural gas. It's billed as a clean alternative, everything about it, from the fracking that contaminates our waters, to the pipelines, to the transport. Its footprint is every bit as dirty as coal. There's a lot of information. There's so much information about the TPP that I could probably talk to you about it all day, but you probably don't want me to do that. So I encourage you to go to the Sierra Club website, sierraclub.org/trade. You'll find a wealth of information there about trade in general and the TPP in particular and how it affects the environment. You can sign on there to a letter to President Obama asking him not to let the TPP lead to more natural gas exports. We need to adopt trade policies that support rather than undermine environmental and labor standards. We have to move away from this race to the bottom, as we've heard before, from unchecked trade liberalization toward policies that encourage progress in developed and developing countries alike. Trade has to also allow for the evolution to green economies, protection of natural resources, and increased workers' rights. Thank you.